My dearest bizarre kangs and queens, it's your boy Big Dave and Mr. Shane back with another episode of the BIZARCAST right here every single Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern.
Whenever we want.
We'll be here, all right? Get off our backs. Like, quit. We don't need to hear it from you, okay? Like, let's be honest here. I'm just
you don't ride us. I mean, ride us, but not like that.
Yeah. Get off our backs, okay, Mom?
Yeah, get on our fronts.
Get on our fronts, boy. So anyway, guys, like always, make sure to go over to thebizarcarchives.com and go buy some books, bro. Speaking of buying books, I got something loaded up. I'm going to need to see some 9s in the chat before I show you guys what I got going on here. This is something that is really dope. About to launch, like a few days. It's coming. You guys are going to be the first to see it. I need to see minimum 5 9s. 5 9s in the chat, and I will show you sneak peek, first preview of what we're about to drop. It's something really based, awesome literature, cosmic horror. You're going to love it. I swear. I'm all fired up tonight. It's going to be a fun show. So, Zimzilla says, greetings from Barnes & Noble. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, here we go. Hold up.
In the folds of mythology, never died, never born. Demented god, a monstrosity. Oh, you block the sun. You're the hunger of the one. There you wait.
Hell yeah, we have The Horror Beneath by C.P. Webster about to drop any day now, probably Monday. It is available. It will be available on Amazon. We don't have our shipment in. Our shipment's on the way, but you could buy it directly from us very, very soon. It's going to be in and around $9.50, under $10. You can't beat it. It's like, I can't remember how many pages it is. It's a novella. It's an excellent story set in England, 1978. A guy named Clive Wingood, who is a real estate agent, stumbles upon some. I'm not going to tell you too much, but he gets his hands on this estate called Marchley Howe, and he sells it to this really eccentric German author, and the author goes missing, and then he gets sucked into this mystery involved with some ancient, cruel, primordial chaos that slumbers deep beneath its foundations, and it is fucking cool. You guys are gonna love it. So all you cosmic horror, gothic horror fans out there, you guys that like this stuff, you are going to be, you want to be all over it. You're going to love it. So pick that up when that drops. It's going to be dropping any day now. Go over, follow us on Twitter and Telegram at the BIZARCAST. And if you want a free copy of this book, as well as all of our releases, and then many other books that we just spit out, go over to the Substack and sign up. It's only $5 a month. Only $5 a month. You help fund the machine, and the BIZARCAST continues to grow. Only $5 a month over at the obelisk.substack.com. Go sign up. You sign up for free and just get all updates if you want, or you can sign up for the premium and get free ebooks as well. Lots of great articles. Pulp Archivist, Arbogast, myself, so many others. Paranormal Transmissions. Lots of great content over there. It's like the best Substack in the universe. I'm not sure what they got going on with Substack. Maybe I'm a little hasty. I'm not sure what Substacks look like on other planets, but definitely on this planet, we got the best one. You know what I mean? So what's up, Shane?
Not too much, bub. Geared up for the show tonight.
Hell
feeling potent, feeling fertile.
Feeling virile.
Feeling virile. Yeah.
Me and Trey were practicing like our goblin voices before we.
We had like 15 minutes where we were just being weird.
Yeah, me and Shane, like, if you want to know what our show prep looks like, it's real weird.
Us riffing with sounds and noises.
That's why we're late a lot of the time, because we get caught up being weird. Like, we got to get. If you guys think we're weird on air, like before, we're like, okay, let's get it all out. Let's get it all out, and then we come on and like.
You get the leftovers.
You get the last little sips.
You get the dregs, the silky dregs.
You get the. I was gonna say something real weird there. Apparently, I didn't get it all out. Okay, so anyway, today we are going to talk about a lot of great stuff, a lot of cool stuff. We are going to talk about Giallo films, right? We're talk about Giallo films. We're going to do a brief introduction because me and Shane just recently got into this. Shout out to In These Goings Down. He's a fellow pulp enthusiast. He gave us a shout on his channel before. He's a friend of the Arkham Reporter. I was watching one of his videos and he was talking about these Giallo films, right?
And we had no idea what they were.
No idea. And I was like, I've heard them before, right? I've heard it before. I just assumed it was some pretentious, film thing, because there are like how those of us out here that are metalheads. We go nuts for these like little genres, and we're nerds about it, and we get pretty snobby about it, right?
Yeah.
We get snobby, only the first album's the only good album, bro, and that's like how we are. Well, that's how it is with like everything. Every
little thing.
every little thing has a group of guys like us, a contingency, a substrata of like howling neckbeards that sit at the bottom of the pit and sway and just chant in unison our autistic fucking hang-ups about every little jerk-off thing that has to do. That's like how we mate.
Yeah, our mating call is our opinion.
Yeah. And we're really good at doing that. So, we're pretty good at mating too. Not with each other. Yeah,
I'd say we're pretty good at mating with each other.
No, that's gross and gay, but we don't do that. I got 3 kids. Shane's got a kid. Yeah, we're a fertile. Yeah, we're fertile. Is it fertile or fertile?
I think that fertile refers to a female. Like a man is virile, a female is fertile. And I believe it's fertile, not fertile.
Because it would be like virile.
Virile.
I just sound virile.
Virile.
Hey, baby, want to get on the guy that's really virile?
Such virility.
I am so virile. Yeah, it doesn't. When you say virile, it sounds like patrician.
It's fucking potent.
It's aristocratic.
Turgid.
Yeah. I am patrician Dave, and I am virile. Behold!
Yeah, sounds like you're slinging vast seed. You're out there fertilizing crops.
All may stand.
Weep before my virility.
All may stand, for the virile one has arrived. Behold!
Witness and testify to my virility.
Yeah. Gaze upon my virility, common one.
Step forward and be baptized by my virility.
Dost thou foul and piss-born?
Lowly knave.
Lowly knave, behold mine virility. So, what were we even talking about? Oh, so Giallo films. So Giallo films, I actually watched a couple of them. I didn't go in thorough detail. I'm still kind of learning about this, but I wanted to share it with you guys because this is actually not pretentious and weird and gay. It's actually pretty cool. So Giallo is an Italian word. Giallo. Hey, forget about it. We got these Giallo films over here. Breaking balls. So I just try, you just fucking can't help it over here. You know, I just fucking hear the Italian, and I just want to get on fucking Italian over here, breaking balls. Forget about it, huh?
It just comes naturally.
I know, it just comes out. It's virile. So anyway, so I just like, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Giallo. So Giallo films. Giallo in Italian means yellow, and what this is referencing is the covers of the films, like the poster, the John that goes on the front, you know, the advertisement or whatever, that fucking shit. So that is very commonly in this genre of film, the color yellow, a very bright pulp yellow. So you guys that are pulp guys, I saw Arbogast in the chat, there were a bunch of guys in the chat. You guys that are pulp guys over here, you know what I'm talking about. There's this very bright, eye-catching, vintage, washed out, acid washed kind of yellow tone, you know, this hue, this specific hue that is used for the, I don't know why I did that. So I got like 12 characters that come into life in my head. I had too much coffee.
Let them blend.
Let them mix.
Go mingle within.
Allow the blending. So we are mushing together. So anyway,
we are legion.
Shall thy come betwixt us?
What?
So anyway, so Giallo films, right? Okay, yeah, Giallo films. So and the reason why they use this color of yellow, is because it is directly informed from old school pulp fiction. You know, the Penny Dreadfuls, the dime novels, the OG pulp golden age of fiction books that we talk about all the time. Giallo is directly informed by that and the aesthetics of it, right? It directly takes from like noir films, et cetera, noir books, and most importantly, like murder mysteries.
Yeah.
Murder mysteries were a big pulp genre back in the day. You could find these things everywhere. The masked man with the knife, and then there's the
scantily clad damsel in distress.
Yeah, how scandalous. I love that word. It just sounds like an accuser. You know what I mean? Like art thou so scandalous? Oh, how dare you?
An accusation.
Yeah.
An ejaculation of accusation.
How dare you levy such accusations? So anyway, that is what they were informed by, is these pulp murder mysteries, right? The guy with the knife, and this is a trope that is found in tons of these Giallo films, right? The trope of the masked man with the knife or a weapon or whatever, and he's got gloves, and he's like the cat burglar, and he breaks in, he's murdering people, et cetera, and it's like a mystery around that, and then it starts to later on blend in supernatural elements, but and it starts out, let me see where it kind of begin. I think it sort of starts in like the kind of like the 60s, late 50s going into the 60s, and then it really takes off in the 70s, the early 70s. And these films were pretty low budget. They had really interesting titles. They usually had like an animal and a color and a city. It'd be like the two blue ravens of Milano, or like some shit.
I like that there's a format to the title though.
Yeah.
It like immediately brands it as Giallo film.
Yeah. It would be like two black spiders on the glass floor, or like some shit like that. So like I'm looking at one right here. Il Fante di Fiori. I don't know what that means. I don't speak Italian. But I guess that means the Jack of Clubs. Okay, that makes sense, because it's like a card. It's very very kind of. But anyway, so these films were very, very scandalous, and they had women that their blouse gets ripped open. There's a murderer chasing her. There's a lot of. But what's really cool about these films is the color palettes and the production and the ideas and the writing. And this was a very passionate. It was in Italy, obviously. These filmmakers were very, very passionate and creative, and they made these films that were supposed to be shocking, but they were like just so almost absurd and romantic and entertaining. They were like, you watch these things, you just can't help, even now that they did not age well, but they are just like these very cool films to watch.
But you say they didn't age well, but I think that Giallo films have such a specific atmosphere to them that, like, even watching them today, it's like immortalized. Like, it still carries the same atmosphere and the same feeling behind it watching it today as it would have had then.
Yeah. Arbogast says they weren't low budget. Some cost $1 million. Yeah, okay. They were. You're right. For the time period, they were real films.
Yeah.
They weren't. It wasn't an amateur thing. These were real films. And when you watch these films, a lot of times you can tell it's like where you're like, oh, okay, this is where Stanley Kubrick got from. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, okay, this is where John Carpenter got his ideas from.
Seeing the influence.
You see the color palettes and like all the stuff that we talk about that we love about the late 70s and the 80s movies, the blue and the fog and the lights and the practical sets and the camera angles and like the beauty of these like vintage retro films.
Yeah, and these Giallo films were the like direct inspiration for a lot of the famous slasher flicks that we grew up watching, like Friday the 13th and the Nightmare on Elm Streets, those type of films.
And a lot of these movies are just like some of the like the killing and the violence in them. They were just like so over the top.
Yeah, it was just brutal.
Heads getting cut off and blood spraying everywhere. I saw this
just gratuitous.
Yeah, I saw the one I was watching. I'm like, I'm doing something on the side. I'm doing some work and everything. And I look over and somebody, like some dude gets his head cut off and there's like blood spraying. Like it was almost cartoonish. It was really crazy.
I kind of feel like that's like a part of a Giallo film though, is like that gratuitous, over the top gore. Unrealistic gore, I should say.
Yeah, and it was just like all of this tied together made a really interesting niche film genre that I think we should explore.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because the production value for these films that these Giallo films is not that unattainable by us today.
No, not at all.
We have a passionate film crew that has a place to film, has a nice camera, can produce similar level of production value if they know what they're doing and they're passionate enough.
Yeah, I totally agree.
And these films were cool. So guys, check out Giallo films. Giallo. Giallo, which just means yellow in Italian. So go check out the Giallo films. Kyle Davis in the chat. What's up, Kyle? Kyle sent me a bottle of mead. We're gonna do if I don't drink it, if I can stop myself from drinking it, we're gonna do a live taste test. I'm gonna do a live taste test of it.
Yeah, you should do that. If I'm here, I will watch from afar.
Okay. Hell yeah. It's, Mr. Kyle makes delicious mead. You guys out there, if you make mead or snacks, or like if you make some sort of delicious consumable,
send it to us.
I will turn the camera on and I will taste it and I'll give you my honest opinion. I ain't gonna, whatever, but I will rate your consumer goods if you want me to check. I don't think anybody else in our sector. I like that word, sector. That's like a Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, that's exactly what came to mind when you said that.
Yeah, sector wins.
Fatality.
Yeah. Who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character?
My favorite Mortal Kombat character was Cabal. Yeah,
he was a good one. What about what was his name? Kung Lao. That was my favorite.
Kung
I think.
Lao's a
Kung
shit too.
Lao.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat was just a really good game.
Yeah, it was.
They had iconic characters.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And I liked Kung Lao, and I liked who else did I? Kano.
Yeah, Kano. What a dick.
What a dick.
But he was a Chad.
He was a Chad.
Yeah.
Big time.
Of course, I mean, you can't talk about Mortal Kombat without bringing up Raiden.
Oh, Raiden's like the cheese character.
He's overrated, but he was overrated for a reason.
Yeah, he's like the cheese. You know who's the most cheese character in my opinion? Smoke.
Yeah, with his little teleporty bullshit.
Yeah, I use Smoke when somebody's pissing me off, and
who was the blind telekinetic guy? He always wore like the ribbon tied over his eyes.
Was that Ermac?
No, that wasn't Ermac. I can't remember what his name was. I liked him too.
Not Noob
Not
Saibot.
Noob, no, I can't remember what his name is.
Who's the Kenji?
Kenji, yeah,
Kenji. Yeah. Ermac is the guy. Ermac's got like telekinesis stuff too, right?
I don't remember.
Yeah, he like flies and stuff.
And then there was that really cool insect chick. I can't remember what her name is either.
Oh, she was like Goro's sister or something?
Yeah, something like that.
What was her name?
I don't know. It's been like forever since I've played Mortal Kombat.
Guys, what was Goro's sister's name? It's like on the was it Shinra or Shira or something like that? Sort of like
I don't know.
I can't remember her name. Yeah. There's a lot of great.
There's a lot of really good characters. Yeah.
And you know, during the time when Mortal Kombat like 2 and 3 and stuff were coming out, there was a lot of dope fighting games.
Yeah, and I mean, Mortal Kombat reigned supreme. I mean, it was like the fighting game.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. I would take Mortal Kombat over Street Fighter.
Oh yeah.
Street Fighter's cool.
I mean, they all had their merits, but like Mortal Kombat just like took the show.
Yeah. I had a buddy
with their like fatalities and friendships and babalities.
Babality. Yeah. Who's your most hated character?
Oh, the fucking chick with fans.
What was her name?
She had the bladed fans.
That wasn't Melina, was it? Or Jade?
I think it might have been Jade.
Yeah, she's obnoxious. She had a lot of reach, and she could hit you in the air real easily, and like had really long combos. Yeah,
fuck that bitch.
She's a cunt.
What a faggot.
Yo,
shit. Shit. We were fucking doing so good.
Conk says Sub-Zero is the best. What do you think?
That sounds like an edgy thing to say.
Yeah.
Nah, Sub-Zero was cool. I mean, you think Mortal Kombat, Sub-Zero and Scorpion automatically come to mind. They're like go-tos. They're tried and true fucking legends of the game.
Yeah. Johnny Cage,
yeah. I like that Johnny Cage was just like a movie star. That was like his whole backstory.
He was like Van Damme.
Yeah.
He was supposed to be like Van Damme or something like that. And then you had I hated Sonya Blade. She just wasn't cool. You know?
Yeah, I didn't like her either.
I don't like girl boss characters. We're like military chicks. I don't really like them.
And her like whole thing was that she'd pull out a gun.
Yeah.
It was like her thing.
Yeah. You know, I don't mind like girl characters because we got to make them like hot ninjas or something.
Yeah,
you know
I mean, there had to be some.
They got to be showing at least some side.
Yeah.
Thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, she didn't show
those heaving chested animated chicks.
Ulfric like Nightwolf.
Oh, I forgot about Nightwolf. Yeah, Nightwolf is dope.
Lit. Yeah. Do you remember Killer Instinct?
Killer Instinct, of course.
Instinct.
Yeah. Killer Instinct was the shit.
Yeah. Do you remember the characters?
No, for the life of me, no.
I might have played Killer Instinct more than Mortal Kombat. Maybe.
What was that for? Was that a Sega game?
It's Super Nintendo and Sega.
Sega, yeah. I think I played it on Sega. Ye old Sega Genesis.
Yeah, I used to play as I liked. It was the Nightwolf ripoff was Chief Thunder.
Yeah.
You had Chief Thunder and Cinder. You remember Cinder?
Yeah.
He was like the fire guy. He was a cheap ass because if you kept hitting his light attack, you'd go, hoo, 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 and he would just do this unending like punch combo.
You know what though? I gotta say
Yeah.
there was
Spinal.
there was nothing like playing these on console didn't come close to playing them on an arcade cabinet.
Oh my goodness! Don't even.
The
Get me
days
started.
of yore.
The days of yore.
Arcades were a magical place.
I loved going to the arcade, dude. The one of the dopest arcades that was in my area was actually at the bowling alley.
Yeah, bowling alleys had awesome arcades.
Mhm.
The mall always had an awesome arcade.
Dude, we used to go and they had the X-Men multiplayer. And
Oh my god, the X-Men game? Yeah.
you could play like a bunch of, it was like 5 players or something.
Yeah.
So you would have like just a complete rando kids. You just, yeah, sweet job, bro. And you guys would just be going hard. Like one Nightcrawler, one Cyclops, one Wolverine or whatever. And you guys would just go hard, just like fighting. And then there's the Ninja Turtles game. Remember
Ninja
that?
Turtles. Then you had the old school the shooters like Area 51.
Oh yeah.
OG Resident Evil.
House of the Dead.
House of the Dead.
House
yeah.
of the
I
Dead.
can still like picture like the teeth marks that appear on the screen when they
Yeah.
catch you.
Yeah, dude, that game was based. That was based.
Oh,
There's a lot of good games there, dude. Oh,
Arcades
man.
were special places, dude. And like it didn't matter what the venue was, they always had an arcade inside the venue somewhere. It was always like an extra source of reliable income. It didn't matter if it was the movie theater, the roller rink, the bowling alley, the mall. They all had an arcade because they knew they would always have kids in there playing games.
Yeah. Just Goldberry says X-Men and Gauntlet Legends. Dude, Goldberry, I will kiss you on the mouth. Don't even say that to me. You I will take my shirt off right now. Like you are gonna get me real worked up.
Oh
about
fuck,
Gauntlet
he's doing
Legends.
The one night you don't have your camera on.
Yeah, they'll save everybody. Yeah. They'll be sending super chats just to turn the camera off. Yeah. So like, yeah, by the way, super chats are open. The YouTube machine, the regime, the evil regime at YouTube has somehow remonetized me. I've been applying for like a year to get remonetized. They press the button and they remonetize your boy Big Dave for some reason. So I went and deleted a bunch of my spicy videos, my spiciest, and they remonetize super chats up. So if anybody is feeling generous, dude, any money you guys send us will go right into the BIZARCAST. We got a lot of big plans coming up. We got a big move coming up. We're gonna be opening our own little headquarters. It's not anything too serious. It's it's very humble beginnings, but it's a next step. So you guys that make donations right now, that's going to go into like things like buying trash cans and getting packaging and tape and all kind of stuff. So Big Dave needs food badly. Yeah. Oh, dude, I love that game. Dude, I played that game. I'm like getting sweaty talking about this, thinking about this game.
Dude,
did you play Gauntlet Legends?
No, I don't know what this game is.
Oh, you never played.
I don't know. What is it? I might just not know it by name.
It was a 1 to 4 player, like action adventure, fantasy game. It was like one of the first ones. The very first one was actually 2D, and you could play in the first one. You played as a warrior or an elf, which was an archer, and then like a wizard, etc. And then you would just literally just go around and fight just mobs of monsters.
Okay,
and just fight your way to the end, right? And it was like there was like no story. You would just drop in and be like, you have entered whatever place, and then you would go and you would fight, and it was just, people remember the narrator voice. It would be like, Red Wizard needs food badly. Red Wizard is dying.
That's based.
Yeah. It was.
I was.
Fun.
You know what? Old school video games. I was a Golden Axe man.
Golden Axe was.
That was.
lit.
I lost days to Golden Axe. And that was a fucking hard game.
It was a really hard
You
game.
ever notice how like those old games, they didn't have like an end of the game? It was just like you go till you die
Yeah.
and then start over.
I recently played the remake of Golden Axe.
Really?
Yeah. And I played for like 20 minutes. I was like, fuck this.
It's hard,
It's
man.
real hard.
We've been spoiled by modern video games.
I'm such a bitch. I'm such a bitch. I can't, But speaking of Gauntlet, however you guys can tell how much I love Gauntlet, Grim Earth is getting back on track. We're gonna get we needed a big old break. Our developer, Mr. Fornall, was, he put in a lot of work.
Getting
last
burnt
year.
out.
He was getting a little burnout. So we took a big old break over the holidays and took a break over the springtime, but we're getting ready to get back to the grind. Grim Earth will be coming very, very soon. We had to make a few cuts and bring our scope down a little bit, and we had to chop a few things that we're not going to be able to put in. It's a little bit out of our reach. Things like, unfortunately, we're not going to be able to do the online multiplayer. That's just not within our scope. But we're still going to make a really awesome game that people are going to love. So, Grim Earth is coming out. We're getting ready to work on the wizard. We're adding the wizard character. So there's going to be a barbarian, a wizard, and an archer that you can choose from. And that's
all you need.
And you just slaughter huge hordes of monsters.
Fuck yeah.
There's going to be Lovecraftian levels. There's goblin levels. There's going to be levels with all kinds of weird, spooky folklore, treants, and like all kinds of stuff. It's going to be cool. Well, if we could bring it to fruition. So, guys, Grim Earth is coming very, very soon. We're about ready to get back to work. I told you guys, man. Everybody just stop doubting Big Dave. For real. I want to talk about this real quick. Okay, so a couple years ago when we started BIZARCAST, I was like, okay, we're gonna start with books, right? We're gonna start with books. I'm gonna start a publishing company, and we're gonna kick off a pulp, a whole scene of weird fiction and pulp, and it's gonna grow and grow and grow. And guess what? A bunch of other little publishers cropped up that are doing stuff similar to the BIZARCAST. Now, I'm not saying they didn't have the idea before me, etc., whatever, but I would like to think that BIZARCAST was an influence on those folks, right? Well, in addition to that, right, we're growing catalogs, tons of Aegeon Sci-Fi just put out issue number 5. They're on issue number 5. They eclipsed us.
That's nuts.
So shout out to my boy Brendan Hurd. Congratulations, man. He's been putting in work, man. Awesome job. Yeah, so he's been really putting in work. If you guys want to see I got the Grim Earth trailer set up. If you guys want to watch it, I want to see some 9s in the chat. If you guys want to watch the Grim Earth trailer, I'll show you if you haven't seen it before. But anyway, Aegeon Sci-Fi's kicking ass, right? Who else? We got Savage Frontiers is out there. Savage Frontiers is on issue 2. They're making sales. Dude, we got the pulp thing is popping, dude. We really created something. And I don't want to say me, right? I might have I was there when it started, I was just one of the OGs, right? I don't want to take credit I did, because I didn't. I wouldn't have been able to do all this by myself. You know what I mean? But we created together collectively as groups, as bros, as an art cult, put together something awesome. And dude, nobody else is doing this kind of stuff. I have looked throughout Amazon and blah, blah, blah. The kind of little scene that we got going on here is unique. We're doing something unique. And then not just us, there's a bunch of other publishers that are doing similar adjacent things that are just kicking ass, right? You got Razor Fist out there. He's got books he's putting out. You got Talking Pulp Press. You got Kursova Magazine. You got DMR Books. You got Story Hack Magazine. It's just we're just pulling up, dude. There's just tons of stuff going on. There's so much awesome literature that it's just whatever. So I told you guys that this was going to happen. It happened. I told you guys we were going to get into film, gaming, all of that. We're coming for it. We're going to march back in through the institutions of art and reclaim it by force. It's not going to happen overnight, but it's going to take some years, but it's going to be fun doing it. And what did I say? What do we got going? Shout out Lord Wolfshield, if you're listening. Blessing and hails to him. Next week, he's going to premiere his film adaptation of Shane's story in BIZARCAST 1, Baby Teeth.
Based.
There's a BIZARCAST movie coming out. It's done. I told you guys. I got a video game coming out. We're coming, dude. Like, so let's stop.
Nothing, go on.
I'm just excited, dude.
We're coming, dude. We're coming, Pulp.
What a time to be alive. It is, though. I mean, I'm
We
so
got
excited.
books, we got games, we got films, we got video games.
Mm.
Next, Final Solution.
Yeah. So, yeah, dude. Like, anyway, besides whatever, guys, nothing like this has happened anywhere else. I'm proud of all of you guys, and I'm grateful and thankful for all of you guys that have bought books and trusted in us and have been supporting us this whole way. But we're just getting started. We need you guys to keep it. BIZARCAST, buying books from the BIZARCAST is what fuels the machine, and we're growing all the time and really getting there. So this next book that comes out, guys, go pick it up. I guarantee you're gonna love it. It's gonna be great. So anyway, we got 9s all over the place. All right, let's do it real quick. It's not too long. How long is it? It's a 1 minute. So hold tight. We got a really cool, guys. Check this out. Grim Earth.
Your lands are in ruin. Your spirits are broken. Your temples are burning, and soon I, Necron, shall fulfill my destiny as your new god. All of Grim-Earth shall fall to their knees before me, lest there is someone fool enough to take up the gauntlet.
Ah! Tell me that doesn't look dope. Dude, 4 guys put that together. 4 guys. 1 developer, 1 artist, 1 music guy, and your boy Big Dave. All came together to put that together. And it's a really fun game. It's a really, really fun game. A lot of action. You guys, we're going to be putting the whatchamacallit out there, the GoFundMe to get started on it. What do you...
Some cunt-ass creepy crawly fell from the roof down the back of my shirt.
Oh, really? We got creepy crawlies in here now, boy.
Let me find it. I'll fill it up.
So anyway, guys, I just I know I'm getting excited, but I just am excited. I'm very passionate about this. I love what we're doing here, and we're all doing this together. So I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of you guys, and thank you and love and blessings to you guys that have been supporting us and doing all this kind of stuff. So anyway, moving on. Mr. Shane wanted to yak about something. He wanted to talk about something that's pretty interesting.
Oh, yeah.
He wanted to talk about archaic medicine, right?
Yeah, and all the weird and bizarre things that human beings at one time believed that we today now look back on and realize just how ludicrous it is. And you know, in the past week of researching these things, I've come across a handful of some pretty weird shit that I'd like to talk about.
Hell yeah. All right, so Shane is a fan of the macabre in a way that I'm not. So he is into things like this with the archaic medicine and grotesque old weird stuff, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's just the evolution of it, honestly, that's really appealing, because you look at where we are today, and we've grown so accustomed to the modern advancements in medicine that we tend to forget just how recent this shit is, and that it wasn't that long ago before we were just drilling holes in each other's skulls to feel a little better. So I've gathered together a handful of medical anomalies throughout the years.
Little gizmos and
Little
contraptions.
gizmos. There's some gizmos. There's some contraptions. There's some places that people would go to for unique treatments and little devices and odd medical beliefs. All right. So the first one I got for you.
Okay, let's hear it.
There was this place in Australia that was called the Whale Hotel.
Okay.
And this was the late 1800s, right? And people would go to this hotel for treatment in regards to rheumatoid arthritis.
Okay.
And at this resort, they would be rowed out to a whale carcass.
Mm-hmm.
And they would cut this whale carcass up and form a narrow hole in its body, and the patient would then lay down in the carcass for around 2 hours.
What?
And this process allegedly relieved soreness and inflammation. But the best part, now obviously, this didn't do any of that shit.
Are you sure? Why would they keep doing it if it didn't do nothing?
Hold on. The best part is how this whole this entire resort. This isn't like a guy selling snake oil on the side of the road. They've made a fucking resort, right? They like franchised this. The whole reason this came into existence is because a drunken man who was staggering along the beach near the whaling station at a place called Twofold Bay saw a dead whale cut open and took a fucking header into the decomposing blubber and said that it cured him of his rheumatoid arthritis. And off of this drunken lout's fucking statement, they built a whole fucking hotel resort.
That is there has to, I don't know, man. I just like I really, it's hard for me to believe that they would go to all that trouble to do that weird thing if, you know.
I know it's hard to believe. That's why it's so fucking crazy. It really like goes to show how like gullible people were at one point, or I wouldn't even say gullible, but like how desperate they were to believe in these like miracle cures. Because I mean, the world was a hard fucking place at one time, and if you were suffering from some sort of malady or malaise, you were fucked unless
malady or malaise.
You were fucked unless you were in the grace of something greater than yourself. So let's move on to the next one, right?
Hold up. Arby guy says Whale Hotel. I could bang a fat chick there. Like, what if they're like it's called the Whale Hotel and there's just like one huge fat chick?
Who among us hasn't paid for an hour in the Whale Hotel?
You just like open the door and there's just like this colossal.
On like one end of her, there's just like suppurating orify ready for your primal thrusting.
They're just like,
and then on the other end, she's just slowly churning out like embryonic fetuses.
She's just leaking fetid ichor. She's just like this is mass. And there's just like a bunch of guys that are just kind of like dazed and drunk.
It's just like a line of guys, like they're standing in a urinal, but instead they're just like thrusting into open wounds.
Yeah, they're all just around, just like seething like a bunch of worker ants.
I'm the queen bee.
Gross.
Yeah,
I love it.
Have you come to see the queen?
I sense a story in the works. All right.
Hotel Whalifornia.
You can come, but you can never leave. All right. So the next one, right? In the late 19th century, and this is really fucking this one is not hard to believe, but it's also like super weird. And why would someone think to do this? In the late 19th century, they believed that milk was the perfect substitute for blood. and the fatty, oily qualities would eventually become white blood cells.
Okay.
So they would perform what they called milk transfusions, which just means that they were injecting people with milk. Now, obviously, this procedure was hardly ever successful and killed so many people. But there was one specific instance where they injected milk into a patient whose pulse immediately dropped. But they managed to resuscitate this patient. Do you know how they managed to resuscitate this patient?
What?
With whiskey and morphine. so just picture this, right? You're in what passes for a doctor's office in the 19th century. They just shot you up with a syringe that's probably been used on a few other people, full of milk. Suddenly you ain't feeling so hot.
I washed her out with a rag.
So naturally, what does Doc do? Doses you up with some whiskey and morphine.
Yeah, you ain't feeling right. Have you a sip, son?
Next thing you know, you're feeling right as rain again. That is for the next 10 days until you die.
So
which is what happened.
So what was like the ailment that they were trying to cure?
I have no idea. Whatever would require a milky transfusion, I guess.
So,
Sickle cell anemia. I don't know. Whatever.
got a headache? You want some milk? You got
What?
bunions.
I'd prescribe you a milk transfusion.
You need some milk, son.
You got that whooping cough? Have you some milk?
You got AIDS?
Got them grins?
Yeah.
Don't worry. Needle's clean. I washed her with a rag.
I wiped her off on my parent leg.
I washed her off with my clean shirt.
It's probably be more something along the lines of I sterilized it in some hog intestines.
I blew her out.
I filled her up and blew her out.
Hog intestines.
I dipped her in some hog slop.
Well, that's another thing is that like a lot.
The milk didn't work. Can't do nothing for you, son.
That was our last ditch effort. Yeah, so but like you like mock the hog intestines thing, but a lot of these old things involve like weird animal parts that have clearly no reason to be believed to aid in whatever you're trying to achieve in any way. But for some reason they're like, fuck it, this will work. And that's generally what medicine came down to at these periods in time. It's like, we don't know what works, so let's fucking try this and see. So I have more.
All right, let's hear.
There are a few more.
Like, what are we talking here? Are we talking like what era is all this?
Well, so the last one was the early 19th century,
talking
milk
like-
transfusions, which isn't that fucking long ago, mind you.
It's like Wild West.
Yeah. So they're shooting people up with milk,
Mhm.
early 19th century. Now let's go way back.
Okay.
All right, we're talking ancient Greek. And this is easy. This might be my favorite one on the list. And I'm just going to read it straight. It's called Wandering Womb. Ancient Greek doctors believed that a woman's womb was a separate creature with a mind of its own.
Okay.
And according to the writings of Plato and Hippocrates, when a woman was celibate for an extended time, her uterus, described as a living animal, eager to bear children, could dislodge and glide freely about her body, causing suffocation, seizures, and hysteria.
What, it would like hop off and strangle her?
I guess. Yeah, I guess.
How dare you, stupid bitch!
Now, it gets better. How they treated Wandering Womb.
Okay.
To prevent their wombs from going on walkabout, ancient women were counseled to marry young and bear as many children as possible.
Based.
For a womb that had already broken free, doctors prescribed therapeutic baths, infusions, and physical massages to try to force it back in position. But they might even fumigate the patient's head with sulfur and pitch while simultaneously rubbing and smelling lotions between her thighs. The logic being that the womb would flee from the bad smells and move to the good.
I don't think this is. I think this is something that like they made up so that women would like.
What are you talking about? This is scientific as fuck.
It's like you're just like go back to ancient Greece. It's like Nico Poopodopoulos is like in his house, and his wife is like,
They just made it up to get chicks to fuck.
No, Nico, I feel a headache. He's like, you don't know what will happen. It's science.
He's science. Yeah,
He's
like
science.
like Hippocrates was just like a boy. He's just like one of the dudes.
He's like, yo, you hear what I told these dumb bitches?
Everyone's fucking. So many sons.
What about the Chads?
Then there's like weird things that sound logical to think at the time, right? Like, so when doctors were finally starting to consider treating mental health disorders, and were actually considering them ailments in asylums and such, they created a contraption called the whirling chair. And it's very aptly named. And they would use the whirling chair on patients suffering from mental conditions such as schizophrenia. And what the chair would do is they would strap the patient into it, and they would pull a lever, and the chair would rapidly spin until the patient passed out.
Okay.
And this was believed to cure patients of their mental illnesses by shuffling their brains.
Gotta shake them up.
Yeah, you just gotta hit shuffle. Yeah, they're just reconfiguring them. And then there's like other things, like they would treat stuttering by just cutting the front half of someone's tongue off. Because I could see how a doctor could be like, well, that's gonna fix it, right? Like you can see the logic there.
Yeah.
at least in like this instance, you can see some degree of connection, right? And then there's things like ancient contraceptives, like naturally crocodile dung that would be shoved up a woman's cunt.
Yeah, come on with the
to
bad
prevent.
Come on, we're remonetized. We're gentlemen here. We don't need to hear the C word.
Are you fucking scolding me right now?
Yeah, I am, because I just don't want to hear your potty mouth.
I'm gonna potty in your mouth. How about that?
Or potty in your cunt.
You don't fucking scold me and then shit out the same word. So, talking about potty in the cunt, crocodile shit, right, would be stuffed up the forgive me, the female genitalia, to block your hot wad from finding purchase and taking root.
What are we doing?
And that's it. That's what I got. That's my select choices of medical anomalies throughout.
But how did they get the crocodile to poop in her?
No, first of all, I'm pretty sure that crocodiles mung.
It mungs.
I'm pretty sure it mungs. I don't think crocodiles like strictly poop, first of all. So I don't know like how they did this. And also I don't think they were just like hovering a gator over her spread eagle frame, like, waiting for it to make.
It's like a toothpaste tube. It is like
you know how they did it? They found dead gators and munted them.
I just like think that they probably like Here, honey, do a handstand right here. And they just like hang a gator. They punch the shit out of it until it poops.
They literally punch the shit out of it.
Yeah. Let's go, boy. Crack their knuckles.
I think it had to have been like dry. I think they would have had to somehow acquire crocodile feces and then dry it. In addition to crocodile, I don't know why specifically crocodile. They also use things like tree sap, lemon halves, cotton, wool, sea sponges, and elephant dung.
Yeah. Arbogast says, alligators don't poop. What a crock of shit.
Get out of the chat.
All right, here's a good question here. By the way, we have super chats open if you guys are feeling generous. You guys want to
just throw it out every once in a while.
You guys want to give us some money for being weird. So, big Zimzilla, what's up, Zim? Zimzilla says, not sure if the question has been raised. Is BizarCast 5 in the pipeline? Yes, sir, it is. We are working. Not only are we working on BizarCast 5, we are also working on BizarCast Omnibus Origins. So the first 3 issues of BizarCast, we're taking the greatest hits and we're assembling them into a big omnibus. It's going to have all the art, all the stories, everybody's favorite stories, and we're going to put that out there. So keep your eyes peeled for that. We had a few, we came to the decision that our first few issues, while we are proud of them, number one, they're, our style and our format and everything has evolved over time. So like issue 4 and then when issue 5 comes out, it looks completely different than BizarCast 1, right? And while I am proud of BizarCast 1, it's not really representative of what we're doing now. We've come a long way. So we want to, give the people a collection of all the best hits from the first 3 issues, as well as all of the art, and put it out there. So you can start your BizarCast journey with the Omnibus Origins. I'm thinking we put it out a fancy hardback. We'll see what kind of
Omnibus is such a strong word.
There's
There's like a power in that word.
Omnibus.
Omnibus.
Omnibus Origins.
Omnibus Prime.
Omnibus Crime. Get him, boys.
Go get him.
Yeah, sure thing, boss. Ulfric says, are you still accepting stories for the BizarCast? Submissions right now are closed, unfortunately. However, we will open it up very soon. I am sitting on a stack of stories, like pushing me up through the ceiling, and we're not putting out books fast enough with them. So we got to get through some of these. We got to get back. I mean, I got guys that have stories that are like a year old and stuff. That guys are like, it's like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? So I think what we're gonna do is we're just gonna like put out 5 and then say everything that we got in the bank is rejected. And if you want to resubmit, and that's it. I think that's what we're gonna do.
Clean slate.
Because you gotta think it's been 2 years.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for 2 years. It started out with a crew of like 2 guys, and then 3 guys, and then we had some personnel changes, and 4 guys, and then 3 guys, and then 5 guys, and that are working all together. And we have we got 4 books out. I don't even know how many authors we've worked with, how many art. Yeah, so it's like we have like it's like all over the place now. So it's like, I don't know. How we did things before, like we've changed our system like several times.
Yeah.
So a lot of stories like felt that I take full responsibility. So if you're out there and you have a story that you submitted to us and I have not responded for a long, long time, it's possible that in the shuffle of changing systems around multiple times, I might have lost it. I might have lost it or lost your email or something like that. So feel free to email me and be like, yo, you get this, blah, blah, blah. And I'll just let you know and be like, look, we're not accepting submissions right now or whatever. We'll work it out. So that's it. And if you've been waiting for a long time, I'm really sorry. I did not do a good job keeping up on emails. It was like there was like one period of time where we opened the submissions and I got flooded. and I just didn't have the time. I was just like, I just don't have the time to respond to all these.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I
And there
just,
are a lot of submissions in the wings.
yeah, and I'm not an organized person, and so I'm very, very sorry if you're out there waiting. You know, I take full responsibility for we kind of dropped the ball a little bit on that one, but you know, hey, you know, I appreciate the submissions and all that stuff, and we'll get it worked out. There's a learning curve, you know what I mean? There's growing pains, there's a learning curve. I had no idea what I was doing when I started this project.
Yeah.
I had a basic idea. I knew how books are put together because I've been I was a project manager for a few other publications and was published before, and like I understand the process, but I never did it myself. So we went through a few different phases, a few different you know, things, evolutions, and now I have a pretty good idea of what we're doing, and we have a pretty good handle on what our format is going to look like. So yeah, we're professionalizing. So thank you everybody that's been patient with us and that's been with us and everything like that. So was that all your weird medical stuff?
That was the medical stuff. Yeah.
Gross.
I mean, outside of like a handful of other things like the pelvic chainsaw, which is the origin of chainsaws that was originally invented for women during childbirth.
Oh, that is
Cranked chainsaw, yeah,
grim.
but kind of awesome. Childbirth isn't pain enough. Get the chainsaw.
Yeah. So another thing that we wanted to talk about, we're coming up on an hour, which here we're gonna watch a couple little videos. Do we have any water up here?
Any drinks?
Any drinks, boy?
I mean, I have water. I came prepared. Do you want some water?
Yeah, fill me in some water, boy.
I got you here.
Thanks, boy. Thanks, Dad.
No
All
problem, Dad.
We're gonna take a quick little. Chad Martin says, reminding him of a specific Cannibal Corpse cover. Dude, Cannibal Corpse. I listen to the hell out of Cannibal Corpse. I haven't tuned in quite a while, but for a while, like
I mean, it's classic.
Classic.
Yeah.
If you're like a hardcore metal guy, you can't avoid Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Do you have a favorite Cannibal Corpse album?
I can't think of any off the top of my head right now.
Really?
It's been fucking years since I've listened to Cannibal Corpse.
Yeah, I'm actually not a Chris Barnes guy.
No.
Their first vocalist. I'm not a Chris. My first album that I heard from them was Butchered at Birth. No, not Butchered at Birth. It was Tomb of the Mutilated, which is like what everybody hears. And then The Bleeding. And The Bleeding is actually my favorite Chris Barnes album. And then after that, my favorite Cannibal Corpse albums are Bloodthirst and Gore Obsessed, which are like George Fisher's first albums. And I also really love what's the album that has Evisceration Plague on it, whatever that album is.
I'd be really interested to revisit Cannibal Corpse and see what they're coming out with now and see how it stacks to the OG stuff.
It did it. It's this. If you love Cannibal Corpse, it doesn't. They're still putting out music that sounds like them.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do think they're starting to fall off a little bit, though.
I mean, it's been fucking how many years? You know what I mean?
They started in the late 80s.
To happen at some point.
Yeah. They've been, and they are one of the most, I've seen Cannibal Corpse probably more times than I've seen any other band.
Yeah.
I think I've seen them 6 or 7 times.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Well, they're always touring.
And you met, what's his name?
I met George Fisher. Yeah.
Yeah, George Fisher.
I met George Fisher. I met Pat O'Brien, the guitar player, and I met Alex Webster, the bass player. I met like 3 of them.
Now, was that all at the same time or just at
well, no. They were different shows.
different shows?
Different shows. I met George Fisher. Dude, those guys are just like, they're really they just like love the fans. Especially, I know Alex Webster, like, he's like, like guys are asking him bass questions and he's just talking and talking. He was there like at closing, like the show's over, everybody's going. He's still hanging out, yakking with fans.
He's just into it.
Yeah, and like we're hanging out at the venue closed. There's a bar, and we were at the bar until like 2 a.m. when they did last call.
Yeah,
we go out. He is out by his outside on the sidewalk. He's still hanging out talking to fans until like 3 a.m.
What Chad?
Yeah, that was really cool. And he's really cool guy. He's very West New York.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, I've seen some interviews with him, and he's just like really boisterous and in depth about anything he's talking about. He seems like a really genuine guy.
Yeah, you're talking Corpse Grinder?
Yeah,
George
Corpse
Fisher?
Grinder, yeah.
Yeah, dude, he was like, I was like, I went up and started talking to him and stuff. He's like, hey, how you doing? He's just like this. He's how he is. It's just like how he is. He can't turn it off.
Yeah.
And he's a big fucking guy.
Oh
too.
yeah, he's fucking huge.
I'm a pretty big guy, right? I'm usually the biggest guy in the room. George Fisher's bigger than me.
That's
right?
nuts.
He's actually from Baltimore.
No shit.
Yeah, he was. The time I got to talk to him, I got to I saw him in Philadelphia, but I was like living in Baltimore. So I went to see him, and I was like, he's like, oh, you from around here? I was like, no, I'm from West a little bit of here, but I'm actually living in Baltimore. He's like, oh, I'm from Baltimore. And then we started talking about Baltimore and all this kind of stuff. And he's like, oh, you got to go to this place, get this. Blah, blah, blah. He's talking about how many places to go eat and all this kind of shit. And then we said he's actually a big fan of like fantasy video games.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. He got his own character in what was it, World of Warcraft?
Yeah, until they like called people a bunch of FAG words or something and got canned.
And then they took it off.
But this might have been before that, because I didn't talk to him about WoW, because I didn't play WoW.
Yeah.
Right. But he was like, I can't even remember what we're talking about Diablo and like all these kinds of games. He's a fucking gamer. You know?
Yeah.
He's a gamer.
You know what? A lot of metalheads are though.
Yeah. It's, if you like it's a genetic predisposition.
Yeah.
You
It
know
just
what I
like
mean?
comes with the territory.
Yeah. It comes with the territory. You know what I mean? I can take a look at somebody and I'm like, he's one of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You just know.
He likes all the same stuff we do. But anyway, yeah, so that's Cannibal Corpse. I'm gonna play a quick video. We're gonna do a quick little video here, and then I'm gonna take a drink. I'm gonna hit my vape, and we'll be right back. Yeah, fucking Mr. Shane's book.
That's me.
Yep.
I made that.
Yeah.
Out
So
of my brain.
speaking of, I thought that was apt, since what we're about to talk about is in regards to the writing process.
Yes.
With some people, there's like a debate going on right now, and I said this quite a while ago. I was like, short form needs to return. The idea of these big, long, chonking, door-stopping books, many of them are cool. I never will you hear me say something bad about Dune. Right?
Yeah.
Masterpiece. Lord of the Rings, masterpiece. There's many big, chonking books that are masterpieces.
Yeah, I mean, the novel is eternal.
But, well, what I'm saying is that the traditional way to write fiction is in more short form. Novellas,
Absolutely.
Short novels, 200, 250 pages, maybe.
And I really feel like short form writing it's fallen off.
Yeah. And the short story used to reign supreme,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
A lot of these old school authors that we talk about a lot, Lovecraft, for example.
Yeah.
Only had like one, like I think Call of Cthulhu was his longest one, or In the Mountains of Madness.
I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
Either one of those is his longest one, right?
I think In the Mountains of Madness is longer.
Maybe. So nowadays is a perfect time to bring back short form writing.
Yeah.
And when I say short form, like in this context, I'm talking about novellas and less.
Yeah.
But here we're going to talk about, I want to put novellas over on the spectrum of long form for this discussion.
Yeah. It's definitely a longer category.
It's a longer category. It's more of a commitment and everything like that.
Yeah.
So Shane, me and you are a little bit different in our approaches to writing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I actually don't have a novella out yet because I'm one of those guys that is just built for short stories. I have trouble with
Well, yeah,
form.
because you like churn an entire piece out in a single sitting.
Yeah.
And I can't do that.
Yeah. The only one of my stories that appeared in BIZARCAST that took me longer than one sitting was She Has Arrived. Right.
Yeah.
And then BIZARCAST 4. I actually messed around with that. But like I'm in Aegeon 3 with Parables of the Biomancer. I have my Lex stories, my 3 Lex stories, my sci-fi stuff. I have all my introduction pieces for the BIZARCAST that I wrote. All of those things I wrote in like one sitting or like one long sitting. Like I was like sitting at my desk for a few hours and just wrote it.
Yeah. Which is drastically different from how I do writing.
Yeah. Even short stories. You tell me about your process. Long, short and long.
Well, I've said it before. I kind of struggle with writing. Writing doesn't come as easy as it did when I was younger. So it's a really thorough process now where I have to flush out every aspect of the story and develop lore, even if it's never going to come into play into the story before I even begin to write the story. And I have to make sure that, chronological events are perfectly aligned and make sense and everything fits perfectly. And it's so like drastically different to how I approach my everyday life.
How's that?
Because like most day life, I just like fucking wing it regardless of what it is I'm doing. You feel differently about that.
No. I don't feel different about that. But I will say you feel like because you are a creature of habit.
That's what I mean when I said I know that you feel differently about that. And although I'm a creature of habit, the habit that I have is winging it. You experience me one day out of the week when I come to hang out at your house. All right.
I know you have like specific days that your girlfriend comes over.
I don't have a girlfriend.
Okay,
we're not gonna get into it.
No, but this girl, you have specific visits, right? Conjugal visits.
Visits.
Yeah.
I have.
No, I can't do anything. She comes over on Thursday.
I have.
Does she come over on Thursdays?
No. I have
Tuesdays.
No. I have a. Are you going to list any more days of the week?
There's about 5 more.
Well, I mean, if you keep going, you're bound to get it right.
Yeah. Mondays.
Yes. But
Nailed it.
the thing is that the schedules I have aren't determined by me. I don't like pick schedules for anything. I come over here on Saturdays because it was more convenient for you guys. I have D&D on Tuesdays because it was the most convenient day for everyone I play with. Like these things don't really matter to me because I don't have any set requirement for a schedule. I kind of do whatever I want whenever I want. And I have a routine, I have a habit, but it's sort of a habit that's been determined by other people's convenience.
So let's talk about with your story. You are like a meticulous planner, right?
I am a meticulous planner, regardless of whether it's short form or long form writing. But I think that after I wrote Baby Teeth, and then I wrote the Molybdus Articulate, I realized that long form writing is more my style of writing, because I come into these obstacles when I'm writing short form, and those obstacles are how I have to find this balance between how much is enough and how much is too much to put into the story, and I really have to chop it up enough to make it fit into the criteria of a short story. And I don't like being limited like that. I really like to have the freedom to explore as much of a story as I want to explore. Yeah.
And because I was, like me and you, we correspond quite a bit with our creative processes. And I remember when you're writing Molybdus specifically, you would, like, first of all, guys, Shane started writing Molybdus in.
Yeah, it took me a year to finish Molybdus.
It took him a year to write Molybdus.
Granted, there was like 4 or 5 months in there that I just like didn't touch it before I picked it up again.
Yeah. We just, just different whatchamacallits, right? Different.
Yeah. I'm the type of writer where like I have to make myself go and write. It's not like, oh, I feel like writing right now. It's like you sit the fuck down, you start typing, and you don't stop until you finish the chapter. And then you're good for the day.
So you don't feel like you don't get like the itis.
No, I don't get the itis. No.
You know what I mean?
I get the itis when it comes to planning a story. Like I think like that meticulous planning aspect is far more exciting for me than actually writing a story. Until I'm well into a story, like Molybdus, when I was writing Molybdus got to a point where I was like writing the story, but I was so engrossed in writing the story that I was excited to find out what happened next in the story and to see where it went.
Our boy Zimzilla says something extra for, he throws us $10, $9.99. My man, thank you so much. Says something extra. Just put BIZARCAST 4 on order. Always recommending people to order the books if they are looking for something new. Yeah, dude. BIZARCAST 4. I am very proud. What do you mean, Mr. Zim? If you could clarify, what do you mean on order? We might be out of stock on the website. I think we recently sold out. I've been trying to clear out the what we got so I don't have to carry a whole lot of stuff to the headquarters, right?
Right.
So, we got just like a few books left over there before we get our new shipment. So, if that's what you're talking about, but we also have it. If you are elsewhere in the world, if you are not in the U.S. of A., you can order BIZARCAST over on Amazon, Books A Million, and elsewhere, right? It's available, and all of our books are like, $10, something like $8.
Yeah,
where affordability was a huge part of when I went into this. I absolutely wanted to make sure that our books were affordable.
You wanted to stay true to that original Pulp Fiction price.
Yeah, we actually had a discussion in my chat pretty recent, or actually like before the show. They're talking about the price tags on these books, like price points. And there's another publisher that put out a fiction, which I'm actually pretty pumped about. I'm a little bit, I feel two ways, right? The like enthusiast in me is pumped that these guys that don't traditionally put out fiction are putting out fiction now. The other part of me is like, you're in our side of town,
Stepping
boy.
on my fucking toes.
You're sipping on my Kool-Aid, boy. Yeah, you stepping.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay us.
Yeah,
tips for sips.
Yeah, tips for sips, boy. Yeah, it's gonna be 2 points on this. Yeah, gonna cost you a couple boxes of ZD over here. But yeah, that's So anyway, since I work with Barnes & Noble, we can always order your stuff. Shipping may depend on when you guys have printed out books. Oh yeah, Zimzilla, give me a shout. Send me an email or hit me up on Telegram. Give me a call. Hit me up, and I would love to chat with you more. And thank you again for the very generous $10 that goes to the BIZARCAST fund there. So anyway, what were we talking about? We're talking about
short term versus long.
Short versus long.
Yeah.
I am writing a novella, and I actually have like 5 novellas. I've been like, you have a novella out. Our boy AC Cuthbertson has 2 novellas out with us. I think said he's working on a third. He's got like 2 out. MS Jones has his series started. We got who else? Our boy Arbogast, the Shanghai Horror, which I actually have right here.
We're about to drop the Horror Beneath.
So it's like all these guys are like dropping these novellas, and it's just like, it's Big Dave's turn. You know what I mean? Like, I gotta get one
now
out.
You suffer from the same problem that I do, which is story jumping. Starting one story and then jumping to starting a new story. And how have you found the experience of writing a longer form story as opposed to your short stories?
So I'm telling myself that I'm approaching it like I'm writing multiple short stories.
Yeah.
Because here's the deal. If I do too much planning and I put out too many threads, I get overwhelmed. And
it becomes very overwhelming.
And I'm like, I can't do this. I've been working on a Lex novella for like a year. And every time I start it, I delete everything and start over. Because I hate it. I'm like, I fucking hate this. And I don't even know if that's ever going to come out.
I do that too.
So this novella that I'm working on now, and plus with the Lex novella, I have it mapped out in my mind. Every single scene, every single chapter, everything. I have it completely mapped out. And it's like, folks, the BIZARCAST readers like love this character. And I don't want to.
Really want to do him justice.
I want to do a good job for him. I don't want Lex to be my first novella. I want to have a few novellas in before I do Lex, because I just want to
get accustomed to the format.
I want it to be awesome.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so this one I'm working on now is I yacked your ear off earlier about it. I'm writing a mob drama, right? Mob drama, so it's completely offbeat from any of my other stories. It's not supernatural, it's not sci-fi, it's not fantasy. There's nothing spooky or weird about it. And I wanted to write this. It's set in the 1980s in Philadelphia. The book's gonna be called A Rose in Philadelphia. And I wanted to write this for a couple reasons. One, it's like a meme that I write dialogue that's very one-sided. Right. People like, I get compliments because folks have complimented me on my action scenes. I'm very known for my action scenes. I'm very known for Lex and his one-sided conversations with people,
which I think is weird because I've played Dungeons and Dragons with you as the DM, and I've experienced your two-sided or more conversations in different characters, and I think they're great. So I think it's super weird that doesn't really translate to your writing.
Yeah, I think that it's like one of those things that when you do one thing and you get kind of known for it, you kind of want to show that you aren't just one trick.
Yeah,
that you are more versatile than whatever. Which nobody has said that I'm like, oh, he doesn't write good dialogue. Nobody said that to me. But
I haven't had an issue with your dialogue.
I want to like flex my dialogue because I think that I can write pretty strong dialogue. I'm very good at cooking up characters and their personalities in my head and how they would talk and all these kinds of things. And I think that I can write very convincing and authentic. At least I think so. I hope it comes off that way when it comes out. Dialogue between characters. And another thing is the old school pulps. Nobody has written in like today in the pulp scene. Nobody has written a mobster drama. The closest thing that I can think of that are people that are getting into that is Arbogast with the like Shanghai Horror and some of his detective stuff. Right?
Great fucking story, by the way.
Yeah, I love Shanghai Horror. Yeah. It's a great story. He's like the only guy that's tackled noir, and mobster stories are like, part of the pulp scene. So I was like, I want to write a mob drama. And another thing is, because of how gay and paused modern romance is, and that we're all guys, right? Here's the thing: BIZARCAST, believe it or not, we actually have a fairly large contingency of female readers, which is pretty strange.
It is a little, isn't it?
Yeah. Other like, if, for example, if you like look at us versus, I don't want to name anybody, you know what I mean, but like say another indie pulp like it's similar to BIZARCAST, I would be pretty surprised if they had more than like 20% female readers.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I would be surprised if you said 20. We, on the other hand, are like 30 and 40% and stuff like that.
That's impressive.
Yeah, we have a lot of girl readers. They just don't come and goof around with us in the chats and stuff like that. So we don't think that they're there.
Ladies.
Yeah, come into the chats, ladies. Kong says there was a Russian mafia story in Savage Frontiers. Yeah, so very based. But yeah, shout out to Savage Frontiers, our boy Sam Carnes. I started chipping away. He's got a pretty cool book. I just got sidetracked and couldn't finish it. But he's got a pretty cool book here called The Wildlands, The River People. I think this is his first book, maybe. I don't know. It's a dope book. Let me see. Yeah. So you guys can check that out. Mr. Sam Carnes is a very good writer. Very good writer. And also, this is like pretty strange, like what's it called when you have like two characters from different universes coming together for an episode?
A mashup?
No.
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
It's like I never thought that I would cross paths with Paul Wagner in the pulp scene. Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird, right?
Yeah, well, Operation Werewolf guys and like Big Dave and like Ark the Bog Lords. Like it's just pretty cool. Which Mr. Paul Wagner is a fantastic writer, by the way. I read what was his story in Savage Frontiers 1. I really loved it. I can't remember. It had a very strange name, but it was a very good story. But anyway, what was I saying? So nobody has really tackled mobster stuff, and I was like, who else is gonna write it?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm half Italian. We're from like just like right outside of Philly, where there was a mob presence. Not right outside of Philly, but we're an hour and change from Philly.
Next door.
We're pretty close.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's been a fascination of mine. I just figured if there's anybody in the scene that can write it, it should be me. And maybe there's probably guys out there more suited, but you know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Another thing I wanted to do when I was mentioning about romance is women like romance. So I wanted to try to tackle a story that is still based and still a mob drama, but has a healthy depiction, an interesting, compelling depiction of a man and woman falling in love.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like we're like, oh, that's gay, and then we just write these like which are fucking based. I write them. Everybody writes these like stories that are horror stories and sword and sorcery or whatever. And like the guy and the woman, if they interact, it's because the guy's like piping her and then he bounces. Sigma grind set. You know what I mean? Like it's not like
obligatory piping,
but like these like very flowery, nice like real romance love stories.
Yeah.
Not smut like these whores are reading today, but like these kinds of stories of people falling. Women used to fawn over that. That was their pulp.
Yeah.
Right. So I wanted to, like, since we have a large contingency of female readers, I wanted to write something that wasn't just supernatural and sword and sorcery and action adventure and horror and stuff. I wanted to do something a little contemporary that has some character development and has some dialogue and has a guy and a girl, young people falling in love in a wholesome, like compelling, interesting way that isn't cringe and gay.
Yeah.
To show that we can, not only can we write this stuff, we can write that stuff too.
We can write whatever we want.
We can write it all and it'll still be good.
Hell
right?
Yeah.
We can take on any genre. And
we will.
So A Rose in Philadelphia I wanted to check all those boxes, but I am struggling.
Are you enjoying writing a long form story?
No.
No. You know what? At least you're honest about it. It's hard. At least for me, it's hard. It requires like a lot of planning.
We have a guy who's like he's up in the mix with the BIZARCAST. He buys the books and he like helps them with, he's volunteered and helped us out in different ways. He's also a writer. He has written novel. He's a novelist, and he has tried to submit to the BIZARCAST multiple times. And he's like, dude, every time I sit down to write a short story, it turns into I just quadruple the word limit. He's like, I can't do it. I don't know how you guys do it. And that sounds so alien to me. It's like I could like sit down and I could like write in the time that we are doing this podcast, I could write you guys a short story. You know what I mean? It's just in me to write these short stories.
That's so fucking weird to me.
I literally like some of the like I have a lot that aren't going to go out. I just don't think they're decent, but you know what I mean? They're not as I only put out my best ones.
We're our own worst critics.
But no, they're legit not as like for example, I'm really proud of Lex Conquers Hell. I think that was I mean, it's a little bit absurd and over the top and everything. And then also I'm very proud of They Never Woke Up.
Hey, that's one of my favorites of yours.
Yeah,
not my favorite.
Yeah, thank you. I know you said that one, and that's like the shortest one I've ever published.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's 1,100 words. You know what I mean?
Dude, fucking Baby Teeth was like 3 pages long, if that.
It was short, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a very short story.
And that's like people when I put up the post that we're gonna do the omnibus, and I was like, what stories you guys to put it? One of the first like Baby Teeth. Yeah, it's got to be in there. So it's like, yeah, I can show you. I got the omnibus. Yeah, I got the Welcome, which was the introduction to BIZARCAST 1 that I wrote. Remember that? And I have Dune Lord's Dreaming, Baby Teeth, Contest Between Life and Death, Lex Conquers Hell, Cat's Cradle Rosary, They Never Woke Up, Sound from Beneath.
Oh yeah.
Terror of Black Mesa, Tanner's Gold, and there's gonna be way more. I'm just getting started.
That's a hell of a list already, though.
Yeah, that's like, dude, there are some bangers in the first 3 BIZARCAST, and putting them all together in order, the way that in the way that I think I'm going to do it is, I think people are really.
An omnibus is such a good idea.
I think it is. So that's going to take me a while to put together. So folks, you have to be patient. But that's we're gonna.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. It's in the works. Yeah. So my process for writing short stories is simply I get the itis.
So is that all you've been working on lately?
No, I've been working on. You mean as far as stories go?
Yeah, as far as stories.
Yes. And
I haven't like touched a story in a while. I mean, like every day, all of my attention's been directed into this game, into this tabletop game, which is like so perfectly suited to my meticulous planning and lore development. It's like writing a story, but I never actually get to the story, which is nice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you don't get the itis.
I got the itis for Tooth and Nail.
Do you know what I mean when I say the itis?
Yeah. You get the odor.
Yeah.
The fury.
Yeah.
It takes you.
Yeah. You get drunk with the meat of creation, the meat of poetry.
Yeah, the meat of poetry.
Yeah, and that's literally all that it is. I get this idea in my head. I get obsessed with it. I am an obsessive, crazy person when it comes to creative things. It's all I can think about. It's all I want to do. It's like in the back of my mind, gnawing at my brain, and it's like I get obsessed.
I get like that about certain things, and it comes to me in waves when it comes to writing. like I said, it often comes later in a story. Like when I said that eventually I reached a point in Melibus where I was like excited to find out what happens next, and I'm the guy writing it, sort of thing. It takes over, and I just got to keep going.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell, the muse.
Yeah,
right?
the muse.
And there, you know, guys, in the past, I've said, because when I get into a project and I get obsessed with it, I will stay up all night long.
Yeah.
I will stay up all night long. My kids get up and wake me up, and I have no sleep. And then I do it again and again and again and again until like my hair is frizzed out. I got rings under my eyes, and I torture myself. I really do. And I don't have a day job right now. Right. I'm, doing my side hustles and everything. But even when I had my day job, I would stay up all night working, and then I would go to work in the morning and be exhausted and come home and do the kids and everything XYZ, and then do it again.
Yeah.
I'm just like a psychopath. And then in the past, I've told people like, dude, don't do that. It's not good for you. But you know what? It is terrible for you, but you should do it. You should do it. You should torture yourself and put yourself through that pain and get absolutely just obsessed. Get obsessed, dude. Through obsession comes awesome things.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes you got to torture yourself a little bit for greatness.
Yeah. Yeah.
And nothing worthwhile comes easy.
And here's something I'll also say. Don't gauge greatness based on what else is out there.
Oh, no. Absolutely.
Have it's like going to the gym, right? You go to the gym to beat yourself, to be better than you were yesterday.
Yeah.
You look around and you have goals you want to go to. Like you see a guy's big jack guy and you're like, I want to get to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we were writers, like, yeah, man, that guy's so good. I want to get to that
It's
level.
so easy to compare ourselves to different writers and forget that we're not trying to emulate other writers. We're trying to express our own style of writing.
We're trying to become who we are.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And most of us aren't going to be. We got to keep in mind, there's only one Tolkien. There's only one Frank Herbert.
Exactly.
There's only one Edgar Rice Burroughs. There's only one of those guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's only one. And most of us are not, I'm honest with myself. I'm not on the level of any of those guys I mentioned.
No.
And I never will be.
Yeah.
And I fill a niche somewhere in the middle. And you know what? I'm going to fill it all the way, baby.
I'm going to fill it right up.
I'm going to fill her up. She about to get filled.
From wall to wall, top to bottom.
Filtered.
Bottoming out. We're going to stretch that middle out.
Oh, God. Yeah. But, I am what I am. I
am what I am.
I am what I am. And that's okay. Because I think that although I'm probably not going to be, remembered in the history books or anything like that. And that's okay. What I'm worried about is that the people that own books and see my name under my story today read it and they're like, wow, that was cool. That's it. That's all I want.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, I think you're a pretty good writer, right? But even if you weren't, you created a thing that shines a light on really good authors that the world would have never seen otherwise by creating the BIZARCAST. Right. You give these people the chance to show the world what they have.
That might be my favorite part.
Yeah.
Is guys like, I remember when I showed you the copy of Melibus for the first time. Remember I got the one that was like shitty and fucked up.
Yeah, it was the greatest thing I've ever seen.
It was like I felt like I was the doctor showing you your firstborn.
Yeah, it was like. That's like a moment that you don't forget. The first time that you see like your name in writing, it's like there's nothing else like it.
It's cool.
And you carry it with you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's you see all of your hard work, your creativity recognized and like culminating into an actual accomplishment.
Feels good.
It does. Yeah.
Feels really good.
And it endures, writing these stories will be around forever. They exist now.
Mm-hmm.
They are in the ether, and they will endure.
And like the thousands of people that have bought BIZARCAST books, some of them are going to go on to write.
Yeah.
And there are going to be there a guy. I got a submission from a guy that said he got inspired by Lex, and I'm reading his story, and he's got certain like phrasings and stuff that are like, it's like, oh, that sounds familiar. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
I was like, that felt good. That was cool. Right. Arbogast says he just writes and doesn't think too much. Yeah, Arbogast.
Which is like a great thing, because if you can just like get in that mindset where it's like you've reached like this state of thoughtlessness and you're just like flowing, there's nothing like that state.
Yeah, I will. Especially Arbogast is a very, very good writer.
Yeah.
He's also a very good. He's like a columnist. This guy is go to guys. If you have not checked out our Substack, Arbogast, Pulp Archivist too. He's excellent as well.
Dude, this guy Arbogast wrote a review of the Molybdus Articulate, and the fucking review was better than the story.
Just Goldberry sends a $10 super sticker. Thank you so much, Just Goldberry. Very, very generous. That's going to go into the BIZARCAST.
They live. Hell yeah.
They live glasses for everyone. Hell yeah. But yeah, I got to shout out Arbogast. This guy, I will say this. Arbogast is the most productive, prolific writer in the scene. This guy has books with probably about every freaking publisher out there. He has columns on multiple sites.
Yeah.
He is just a machine. Just I just feel that he's like what's that one magic item from D&D, the decanter of endless water.
Yeah.
Where you pop the cork and it just never stops.
Yeah.
That's him. He's incredible.
Pop the bottles.
Says, call me a columnist, I'll kill you. Dude, you're a good columnist, dude. Whatever you want to be called, that's what you are, because you're just a fantastic dude. He's great. Dude, I and here's another thing with the BIZARCAST. I'm just pumped to be like beside some of these guys.
Right? Yeah.
Some of these guys are like,
yeah, just to have like your story sitting in the same book alongside these like genius authors is like very rewarding.
Dude, there's a couple stories that I would, I like I'm like a father. I love all of my children, right?
Yeah.
But there are a few stories that have come out of the BIZARCAST that are in a few of the issues, and I'm like, this is like, for it just comes to mind. Dune Lord's Dreaming by M.S. Jones
next level.
Is like one of this is gonna sound crazy, and I don't mean to sound arrogant, but Dune Lord's Dreaming is one of the best like fantasy stories I have ever read.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
It is like one of the best ever written. I mean, like it is so good.
One of the best stories to ever grace the eyesight of man.
I don't want to like hype it up too much, because there's gonna be folks that read it and like, oh, it's not my cup of tea, and like when you hype something up too much, it lets people down.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. That's my opinion.
It's a very good story.
Very, very good. Him, A. Cuthbert said, dude, I get people, dude, his book Spire pop, dude.
Yeah,
people love that book. People love that.
That was an explosive success.
They're like hitting me up on Twitter, like they loved it.
Yeah.
They loved it. Right. I'll be honest. I mean, Spire is a fantastic book. Me personally, his Cosmic Horror double feature is like one of my favorites.
I mean, I'm biased towards Cosmic Horror,
Yeah.
so
You're not a real big sci-fi guy.
I like a certain type of sci-fi, like They Never Woke Up. I like sci-fi horror sort of atmosphere, but I appreciate cyberpunk. I definitely do. Yeah, but I mean, my heart resides with Cosmic Horror.
You're gonna like this book. It's about to drop.
Oh yeah.
Oh, man, I'll get you a copy. It is very, very good. It's very, very good.
I mean, I fucking gushed over the Reliquary when I found it in the submissions.
Yeah, CP Webster, he's gonna be a star.
Yeah,
he's gonna
really
be a star.
is.
A lot of these guys, like, it takes a long time for like these kind of, and we're like people are just too dumb. It's not like the 20s where like everybody reads,
Yeah.
and it's just there's just like a
How sad is that statement? That fucking people don't read anymore.
they don't.
It's depressing.
It is. It is. It's like the mass literate populace is just not there anymore because the mass populace. What's that?
Zimzilla with a $20 super chat over here.
Oh,
My man
Zimzilla.
flexing.
Damn. Zimzilla. Shout out to Zimzilla. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
$19.99 he sends us. Very, very good. That's gonna go into the fund, man. That's gonna go into the fund. It's dude, we got a lot of big plans, and while we're trucking along with the book sales and everything like that, dude, it's running a business is expensive, bro. It's not cheap. And then you gotta worry about taxes, and we're going into that territory now. And it's like the mo money, mo problems. You know what
Exactly.
I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's getting hopefully someday that will be a big giant successful operation. But as of right now, despite we're like if we're probably in our scene of pulp, we're in the top 3 of booksellers in the pulp scene.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely, and the thing is we're ever growing, ever expanding, always dipping our toes into new ventures. We want to bring Cult to the world.
Yeah, we do. That's what anybody that is of our ilk, I want them to like join us.
This is a fucking renaissance.
This is a renaissance.
Renaissance. Yeah. We want to fucking stir the pot. We want to rock the boat.
We want to rattle the cage, ruffle the feathers.
Yeah, fuck the priest. We want to.
Yo, come on, dog.
Never heard that saying before?
No.
Well, it's a real one that I definitely didn't make up right here on the spot.
But yeah, so all that stuff we were saying before he said that. So yeah, but we're getting there. We're getting there. We're doing good. We're
Arbogast, ever growing like a boner.
This has become,
that's what I'm talking about.
This has become like the locker room podcast.
Yeah.
This is like where all the boys get together to do scumbag talk.
Yeah. BIZARCAST. We're growers, not showers.
Oh, it's all right though. It's all right. Yo, were you on Facebook when that one page started popping up? It was like 3 inches is average or something like that. It was the funniest page. It was this page. It was like,
man, 3 inches is huge.
I know. There's no way that's average. Like,
there's no way. It's huge.
You guys are really reaching here. I call
bullshit.
Yeah, I call. So anyway, yeah, there was this page. It was called, I think maybe it was called 4 inches is average or something like that.
All right.
And I think it was 4 inches. So it's like, it's called 4 inches is average. And the whole point of the page was like guys with their 4-inch wieners, like coming to like banding together. Like, we are the majority. We are like all this stuff.
We are the children.
We are the world, 4 inches average.
Hell yeah.
So,
we should revive this page.
So on this page, they would it was just like troll. They're like it was like all this kind of stuff, and their whole thing was that they were being oppressed by the dongoloids. And that like 6 or 7 inches, 6 inches is average is dongoloid propaganda, and like all this kind of stuff.
Dongoloid.
Yeah, and there was just like all of these normies that came swarming because they're like, no way. Well, I'm way bigger than that. And just ask your mom. And like all this kind
Oh,
of,
I bet they got fucking swarmed.
oh, they got swarmed and harassed. And like it was like, it was just so
Get
bizarre.
out of our space, Dongaloid.
Yeah, it was a good troll. And there's like guys like saying like I'm 3.8 represent, and they're like, nice size, brother.
Huge dong, Kang.
Yeah. Stay up, Kang.
Most average, my brother. My brother in size.
Oh man. Oh, that's crazy.
Beautiful. What a beautiful world we live in.
Yeah, it was a funny page. It was a funny page. Oh yeah, and the women that would go on and be like, "Well, that's not big enough for me." And blah, blah, blah. They got slaughtered.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Sluts.
They have it. I'm sorry, my perfectly average penis cannot satisfy your cavernous vag, you filthy whore. And like, oh.
Your cavernous badge. Your vacuous gorge.
Your limitless void. Into the void.
Cast him into the void.
That's funny. All right, we're coming up on 2 hours. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
Not off the top of my head.
All right, you want to open up the line?
Yeah, see if we
Alright.
got anyone that feels like having a chat.
Yeah, we got some shy guys lately.
Come talk with the boys.
I'm gonna drop the link in the chat there, and you guys can hop on in, and we can yak if you want. If you got any questions or anything like
And we
that.
promise if you call in, we aren't touching ourselves.
Okay.
While we're talking.
We're monetized, guys, so no dirty talk, no potty mouth. Like, don't even say like,
Jalapeno, not habanero.
yeah, jalapeno, not habanero. Right? That means no hard R's.
Yeah,
No.
I fucked up earlier.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, by the way, the reason that the last episode's not up, it's over on Odyssey if you
we
want.
got too spicy.
I got a little spicy at the end. I started doing
Jamal.
yeah, I did a pretty thorough
A pretty authentic.
a pretty,
I'd say.
a pretty authentic impersonation of an African American gentleman. Don't say it.
No,
Don't get me started.
I'm not.
We got-
I'm gonna shush
If
up.
nobody hops in, we got 4 minutes left. I gotta keep it under wraps before. I think the 2 hour mark, like you know how Cinderella turns into a pumpkin.
Yeah,
I think at 2 hours I turn into a
Blumpkin.
Negro.
God damn it!
I said Negro.
I don't know if that's PC anymore.
Is it? Yeah, Negro is good. You can say that.
What about like if you threw like an oid on the end of it? Is that okay?
Maybe.
What about colored person?
I don't think so.
So you're telling me Negro's okay, but colored person isn't?
I don't know.
I'm so out of the loop on this.
I don't know.
Yes, you may.
Yeah, you may say schlong.
Yeah, for
Shane's
sure.
on. Yeah, you can say that.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
We got you covered, dog.
Yeah. If anyone at YouTube has a problem with it, I'll make some calls.
He just like calls me. He's like, can you believe it? Yeah, it sucks. Yeah, I know.
All right, talk to you later.
All right, peace. That's the call. Told you I was gonna make some calls. Told you I'd handle it.
I called my guy on the inside.
Yeah. I know a guy knows a guy. Conk. What's up, bub?
My man.
Yo, Dave and Shane, what's going on, guys?
What is up?
What's happening?
Yo, I got to be honest with you. You guys, you've offended me.
We offended you.
Yeah, I got the biggest schlong in the entire state of Pennsylvania. You never invited me on the show.
Oh, yeah.
What are we talking? A $5?
Oh, a lot bigger than that, dude.
Damn.
Are you PA guy?
Yeah, Pennsylvania.
Where at PA? Give me. You don't got to
I'm
give
a
me.
Philly guy.
Oh, you're a Philly guy.
Hey,
Oh yeah.
hell yeah.
Yeah, last week you guys were bashing on the way we say our vowels. I had to laugh.
Oh yeah. Hey, these guys want a heggy.
Hey, it's how it is, brother.
Yeah.
Funny fact, Philly is where Dave and I met each other very randomly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and Shane went to a Yule celebration for like a mutual contact. I was living in South Jersey, right? And
Okay.
he's, out here out west. And he like took a train into Philly to go to this gathering. And I was like, oh, you're from kind of close to where I'm from. And then we stayed in contact and we became boys when I moved back home.
Yeah.
Nice.
Super
Man.
random.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that you met that way, but very nice, man.
Yeah.
Dave, have you been researching like Philadelphia mob stories?
Yeah, I was reading about was Skinny Joe and his regime. Fill me in. What do you got on it?
Well, not so much with that. I mean, just a funny story. My father's actually a retired Philadelphia police officer,
Mm.
and he was raiding somebody's home. I think it was Bruno Natali. And this dude, he actually had like you in like pirate movies, you see like a treasure chest,
Yeah.
and he literally had like a freaking treasure chest like in his bedroom, and it was loaded with like Rolex watches and like diamond rings. And he sees my father going through it, and he's like, "Hey, officer, if you want something, it's yours." But he's like, "No, they own you when you do some shit like that,
That's crazy.
Yeah, so that's just a little mob story. But I was just wondering, if you were really diving deep into it.
So I was reading about the problem with the Philly mob is like they were outside of the five families, right? You had in New York, you had the council, and the council consisted of like you had the Genovese family, you had the Gambinos, you had the Lucchese's, and there was five big families, and they were part of like the council, and they'd all meet and everything like that. But there were other La Cosa Nostra outside of that weren't part of the council that had completely different rules. But because of that, there's not a whole lot about, because it wasn't New York. Philly gets, it's because it's a smaller town and all that. There's not as much about it, right? Like, for example, you type in Skinny Joe, who was the mob boss in Philly, not a whole lot comes up. You find out how he was arrested, et cetera, stuff like that. And like there's a family out in Buffalo. There's a family in New Orleans and Chicago, and like there's lots of other La Cosa Nostra, but they don't have nearly as much documentation on them. It's a little bit it's less accessible.
Yeah, that is true. It's not as documented. You don't have like oh God, I was watching Goodfellas. You don't have like big theatrical productions on it either.
No, I did watch. There's actually a pretty good mob movie set in Philadelphia that I saw. It's actually like a B movie. It was called Wolf and 10th, and it's just starring a bunch of no name. The biggest name in the whole movie, Val Kilmer, makes a cameo for like 5 minutes. It's pretty weird. I don't know. They like, he was like, it's like, hey, we got to get a big name in here. Hey, my cousin's buddies with Val Kilmer. Like, he knows his wife. I don't know. So maybe they got him like that. But and it was a pretty cool movie. It was a really good movie. However, one of my problems with how they portray Philadelphia is they never get the accent right. They just do like a New York accent. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Because we're not that far from New York, but I know there is a very much a difference in accent. I mean, like, the biggest thing, like we say water instead of water, which if you say that to somebody from the South, they're going to look at you like Shane, he's talking about his whole, all this stuff like with the dead bodies and all this creepy shit. That's how they look at you when you say that. I mean, they like you just said something totally obscene.
I know that look well.
Hell yeah. So, Mr. Kong Kong Kong. It's just a funny name. So, have you read Bizarre Archives? You just tuned it into the podcast.
Oh, dude, I've been following you guys since the beginning. I've got all 4 issues. I've got most of what you've printed. There's a few things I don't have. I hate to say, I think it's Arbogast still here. I don't have the Shanghai Horror, and I think there's something else, but I have pretty much everything.
What's been your favorite so far?
That's a good question. I mean, you were talking about Dune Lord's Dreaming. That was definitely an excellent story. Who had Robert C. Booth? What was his story called? I'm sorry, was it a Sly Fox or Sly Booth?
Sly
I think?
Silver.
Sly Silver, yeah. I really liked where that was going, man. Yeah, definitely. Shout out to Robert C. Booth. Yeah, I can't say a favorite issue. One thing I do love was having like Donald Kent's artwork in there. Which I know it's hard because obviously you gotta hire an artist. Just as a former artist myself, I just love it, just part of the whole culture, to see like this really kick-ass artwork to accompany these kick-ass stories. You know what I mean?
Yeah, during that time, Mr. Donald Kent, he did the whole second issue, right? He did all that art in there and everything. And around that time, his mother passed away, so
Right, I remember that.
he had to walk away from the project. And then after the dust settled, he has come back and done a little bit of work with us, but he's got projects at it, so he just never linked back up. And also, like, art is expensive, and for that book, it took him forever, months to do all that work. So it was like, we got to get books out a little faster than that.
Right.
We still have a lot of great art in the books, but as far as art goes, the second issue has the most art.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, and I know it's indie publishing. The budget's pretty limited, so I mean I get it.
Yeah, it's we do what we can with, and we make sure we hire artists, and we got who else we got in BIZARCAST 4, we got Artist of Albion in there, Archaic Cabella's in there, we got some other donations, we got some, Don Ken is in there, he made a sketch for us. So yeah, I do appreciate that you enjoy the art. That is, you're right. It's really cool that it's part of the culture, that the actual illustrators and writers come together to create these books like they did back in the old days. It's part of the vibe. You know what I mean?
Definitely, absolutely.
And it really highlights the stories very well. It just takes the quality up to the next level.
Yeah, I mean, it creates just this, just this beautiful book. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as outside of BIZARCAST, do you have some favorite authors and everything like that?
Oh, right now, I'm really delving deep into Edgar Rice Burroughs. I went through all of the John Carter stories, like the Warlord of Mars. All those. I'm currently in the middle of the first Tarzan book.
Oh, based, yeah.
Shane loves Tarzan.
Yeah, it's a really good story, and it's kind of funny because there's some things in there that modern day publishers would not want written in books.
Yeah.
So Edgar Rice Burroughs. I'm kind of delving deep on the classic stuff right now. Of course, but long before that, discovering I can't think of his name. Who's the dude?
What do you write?
Oh God, one of the big Weird Tale writers. Why can't I think of his name?
Mark Ashton Smith.
Yes, he's got some great stories. Definitely shout out to him.
Oh yeah. The Zothic cycle, and one of my favorite stories, but I think, what story is in Abominations of Yondo? You
Okay.
have the Dark Eidolon. He's got so much good stuff, man. He was fantastic.
Absolutely. And then, of course, yeah, I mean, not to sound like a broken record, I know you talk about Robert E. Howard a lot, but
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
it really was like so refreshing discovering Robert E. Howard because like his characters were so masculine. And when I read a lot of modern day fiction, it's like, let's just say someone who's supposed to be this real strong man type of guy, he like gets his ass kicked and it's like, okay, whatever, no big deal.
Yeah. It's his characters are not only, and what really frustrates me about their critique of Howard is probably how they make it sound like Conan and Solomon Kane and Kroll and like these guys were like these bonehead, blah, blah, blah. And that's not it.
No.
They clearly haven't read it.
Yeah.
Robert E. Howard, when he displays the masculine archetype, what he does, the masculine essence, what he puts out there is a character that is strong, that is powerful, that is muscular, and is martial, but he's also sharp wit.
Yeah.
And he's got he's
they were.
charming and he's quick on his feet and like all of these kinds of things. So he like embodies all of these like positive masculine and negative ones too, to make these like very believable, likable, relatable heroes. You know what I mean? So the way that they paint him now is just grotesque.
Yeah, but all of his characters, they were smart. These weren't just like, some guy with big muscles and no brain.
Yeah, Conan won his way to the throne of Aquilonia through strategy and wit.
Right.
You know what I mean? Cunning.
Absolutely.
Yeah, hell yeah. Solomon Kane, dude. People sleep on Solomon Kane. His stories are just fantastic.
Oh, Solomon Kane. Oh, go on. Sorry.
No. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say like Solomon Kane. Like he'd go travel to the other side of the world to go like avenge like some girl. I mean like. I love that. It's like you just stop at nothing to just avenge people. Just this kind of like righteous mindset.
Yeah. And he's got what's his Steve Costigan, the sailor stories, and then he's got Harrison, the detective. He has detective stories. Dude, Howard.
Yeah. Those were interesting because it was totally outside of his realm, but it was still there was just like this weird stuff going on.
Hell yeah. Excellent. All right, Mr. Conk. We are we're on 2 hours 10 minutes, so we're probably gonna shut it. By the way, is Conk? Is that like making a sound, or are you talking about like Squingeely?
No, just ever since like back in the day, coming up with some like a username, I think of like just the weirdest, dumbest shit I can think of. So that's just what came up.
Fuck with it.
I bucks with it.
All right, guys. Take care. Have a good night.
Yeah, appreciate you. Blessings. All right. That was our buddy from old Philadelphia.
Yeah.
Philadelphia. Yeah. Good old PA guys. I love it. So shout out Mr. Kong. Thank you for calling in. Yeah, we're gonna shut it down, man. I'm starting to run out of steam over here, y'all. So
yeah,
the coffee
hard.
I think I'm such a caffeine addict. You know how like really bad alcoholics will take like 2 sips of something and then
yeah,
they like trigger. I think in my brain, long after the caffeine wears off, I'm still like, yeah.
I wish I was like that. I used to be like that. Now it's just I'm a fucking demolished wreck after a cup of coffee and a few hours pass.
I'm an uppers guy.
That must explain all the crack.
Yeah. Oh man, I have never smoked crack actually.
I haven't either. Sold it once. Never smoked it. There was a time.
Did I tell you the story? I got fired from my job when I was like, I guess I was 21. I was a cook at a bar. I got fired from a job because I caught one of the cooks smoking crack in the walk-in freezer or the walk-in fridge.
And you got fired?
And I got fired because he blamed me
for smoking crack?
Yeah.
There's like no like investigation or anything. They were like, turn
No.
out your pockets. Let's
No.
see who has the stem.
This guy was working at this. So the boss, like, he didn't like not like me, but he was like, he's like a fucking boomer, had a heart of this fucking young guy. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Like, gotta show him. So he was just on my case just all the time for dumb shit, right?
Oh, so he's just looking for a reason.
He was just looking for a reason to show me, young guy, you know. So he was just like that. And this guy that was working there, that was, you know, the crackhead. I don't know how people didn't know he was a crackhead. Looking back, I just wasn't.
In the walk-in freezer?
Yeah, the walk-in. Yeah,
That's insane. Crack stinks.
yeah. So it was like, well, I guess it was like the like walk-in refrigerator, right? So,
That's ballsy.
yeah, it was like, so we were working together, right? It was like we were doing prep in the morning together, and I was like, he was just like gone for a long time. I figured he was like pooping or something, right? Or maybe he left. I don't know.
Yeah.
I was just, you know, worried about my work. So I had to go into the walk-in and like grab some stuff. And he like, I walk in and he like acts real weird and like covers something up, like turns around real quick. And my first thought was I thought I caught him beating off.
Oh yeah, naturally, that's what you think.
I was like, what?
Yeah, that's a very natural like conclusion to reach.
Yeah, I was like, this guy's jerking off. So I was like, I like turned my gaze just in case he's like putting his wiener away or something. Right? So I walk in and I'm like, and I like look up, I'm like, what is that smell? I was like, because it smelled like like burning grocery bags and
Yeah,
cotton candy.
Yeah.
Like it was like sweet burning plastic or something. It was like, and it doesn't even smell like that. It smells like something completely different. But it's well, not completely, but that's not the only way I can describe.
I know what you mean.
And I noticed that there, like, it was just like, I was like, it just kind of like, what is that smell? He goes, what smell? There's no smell.
Overreactions.
Yeah, it was like this bizarre. I was like, first, why would you say that?
I love that not only did this guy smoke crack on the job inside the building, but he also took his time doing it. Like, not a care in the world.
No.
He's
Well,
just like, 4 o'clock, time for crack.
I think he was the owner's cousin or.
Oh, so he just didn't give a fuck.
He just didn't give a fuck. So he's like in there. So I'm like, what is he doing? And like, I didn't even like put it together that he was smoking crack. And I was like, he wasn't jerking off. He was doing something weird. Like that was just weird. What was he doing? And then I just went back to work and I forgot about it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it was just like the guy was weird. He was like neurotic and kind of a dick, and I didn't like him. So I was like, whatever, dude. Do your weird thing, whatever you're doing with your penis, and you know, whatever, making weird smells with your penis, whatever. I don't know, whatever you're doing, yeah.
This mystical penis smoke.
So I go back to work or whatever, and then like the next day, the boss calls me and he's like, so what's up? We're just doing drugs at work now. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because at this time in my life, I'm 21. I partied, but
yeah.
I was still a little bit naive to certain things. Right. At this point, I tried. I don't want to go into what drugs I tried and everything. You know,
right?
You shouldn't do drugs. Drugs are bad, right? But like at the most part, I smoked some weed, and I drank beer, and you know, I was like,
dabbled.
I dabbled with 20. I was a 21-year-old man in
21-year-old dabbler,
a 21-year-old millennial, right?
Yeah.
So I dabbled, and I was like, I didn't do it. He's like, can you pass a drug test? And I was like, no. I was like,
can you?
No, but that's the thing. This guy was like a horrible cokehead.
Yeah.
This owner would blow the entire like kitchen budget on cocaine and at the casino. He'd go to the casino, do tons of coke, and like blow all the money at the casino. So there were times that I would go to work and we had nothing to cook.
Yeah.
So I had to make up things for the menu. Like I'm like 21 years old. One time I made stuffed peppers because there's this big bag. He would just like go to the store and just like buy thing. He would like go to the bulk store, right? The like Amish store.
Yeah.
And he would just buy like bags of rice that are like from India that have like India writing on it.
Cheapest shit he could find.
Yeah, and he would just like sit in the storeroom. So we'd have these just random ingredients. So I made, and then he had like these big giant boxes of like peppers that he bought. So I took like frozen hamburger patties. I thawed them out, chopped them up. I made stuffed peppers.
Yeah.
And I put that on the menu one time, right? That was it. And one time we had spaghetti. I made spaghetti. It was like a bar. So we served, you know what? My spaghetti sold like crazy.
Yeah, you had to work, use what you had.
Yeah.
Work with what you had.
So he called me and I was like, he's like, you know what? I don't have any work for you. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he's like, what are you? I was like, dude, I was like, you know, I told him, I was like, his name was Mike. I was like, Mike, you know, I won't pass a drug test because we smoke weed together.
Yeah.
And he's like, that's not what I'm talking about. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, so what was going on in the walk-in? Like we had this argument. And he's like, you know what? You're fired. And I was like, okay, whatever, dude. Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah. Who gives a shit?
And then like 5 days later, he calls me back and he's like, I need you to come in. I was like, what are you talking about? You need me to come
fucking
in.
fired me.
He's like, Todd, I'm sorry, I said the guy's name, the other cook. But anyway, yeah, I can't remember what exactly he said. But we caught him, doing drugs at work. And I was like,
no shit.
I was like, oh, okay. So it wasn't me. He's like, yeah, I was like, how about like an apology instead of like just like demanding I come back into work?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, I'd really appreciate it if you came. That was his apology. I'd appreciate it if you came in. And I was like,
fuck you.
I was like, I want $2 more. He's like, I don't know. That's not really. I was like, yeah, it is. You're not paying Todd. You can pay me. I want $2 more, or I'm not coming in. Or you can go fuck yourself, Mike. He's like, fine. I come in and I work and all this kind of stuff. And you know what? Like the place was a mess. Like we made it through this busy ass weekend. He pulled some extra money out of the cash register and like paid me pretty handsome and like told me he's like whatever you want to drink, it's on me.
That's pretty cool.
So he took care of me that time.
A roundabout
that time.
Sort of apology.
Yeah.
A nonverbal apology.
That was his apology, right? And you better believe I drank the shit.
Yeah, got fucking hammered on the good stuff.
He had in this establishment, it was notorious for running out of what was on tap because it was like a hole in the wall.
Yeah,
there's not really the walk-in fridge. You could keep like 5 kegs.
Right.
So we would blow out a Yingling, we would blow out of like Miller Lite and like all that kind of stuff, and then all that was left were like just rando imports and like micro brews that were kind of in the slide. There's these 2 big slide fridges in the back.
Yeah.
And the boss would just like pick this shit up, or it would just get dropped off from like local breweries as a try. So it's just like this completely random smorgasbord of different like beers. And the joke was they would look at it, have some crazy German name. So the joke is they would say, you guys want a Gubenschlauber? What a Gubenschlauber. It's like whatever random like import. And like it was just like how much is that? So I would be like, he had like some that were like on the top shelf that were like full-size bottles with like the wire and the cork, and they were glass.
Oh, yeah, all the fancy stuff.
Yeah, made out of clay bottles.
Yeah.
And I was like, I want that one. I drank like 5 of them fucking things.
Yeah, bring that stoneware down.
Yeah, I don't even know what it was. Right?
Was it good?
Hell yeah. It was great. It was great. So yeah, I drank all his best stuff.
Fuck that guy.
Fucked it. Yeah, he's a dick, dude. And you know what? He burnt the place down. Just speculated, burnt the place down for insurance. He bought a new place, and that place burnt down too.
Oh.
And now it's rebuilt.
So coincidental.
I know.
Hmm.
What a dick. I hated that guy. I hated work. It was like cool working there because like he was never there.
Yeah.
He was like he was like one of those restaurant bar owners that like Gordon Ramsay comes to visit.
Oh, okay.
Like under
the
the refrigerators, like hasn't been cleaned since
just
whatever.
like a scumbag joint.
There's a scumbag joint, but it was like the best hangout in town, so everybody went there. And some of the food was pretty. He actually had some pretty good cooks come through there and like leave like things behind. Like there was one sandwich that was called a Herbie that was named after this dude that worked there. And when the dude worked, in cordon bleu sandwich.
Oh, okay.
right?
Yeah.
It's like chicken the sauce that he used to make. Well, like he wasn't working there anymore, so we would make the sauce, and and eventually over time it degraded. Instead of like, because he used to like, he would bread all the chicken himself,
Yeah.
and, everything like that. And then eventually, owner's like, no, we're just gonna switch to chicken patties. Yeah, I
Fucking
mean,
ruined it.
I know.
Chicken patties.
Yeah. So that was what else did I made like a whole bunch of stuff like that like ended up on the, and also that guy that snitched me out, he got hired back and he stole some of my recipes.
What a piece of shit.
What a piece of shit. Piece of shit. You guys out there, if you're cooks and you work in culinary anywhere, it doesn't matter, do not give the establishment that you work at your recipes unless like you're going to be there for a long time or you're okay with them stealing it, because if it's good, they will steal it.
Didn't you win a grilled cheese contest
I won a grilled cheese contest.
with like the basest ingredients?
Yes. So I worked at a fancy restaurant, right, as a cook, and we had this new hotshot chef that came in, right? He's this chef who won awards. He cooked all over the world, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, he would make us do these like activities between screaming at us and treating us like shit, and like
chefs do.
Yeah, like this guy. If you like that image you have of like Gordon Ramsay in your head, fuck it, this guy's worse, way worse. Like make people cry, and if you start crying, it pisses him off worse. And he says he's just so mean. He would just like psychopath flip out on a dime. I don't even know. This guy's like in his 40s. He was like 6'6", this big Irish guy, right?
Yeah.
And he worked all day, every day, and never slowed down.
That's insane.
He was a maniac, but let me tell you, he was a fantastic chef. And if you can stomach him screaming at you and calling you names and treating you like shit and like, if you want any more money, he would get pissed off.
Yeah.
Like it was his money. It wasn't his, but the owner's money. But he'd be like, I need a raise. He'd be like, what are you, a fucking free agent? He said that. He said it to me. I was like, dude, you got guys coming in here. I got like years on these guys in this place. I was like, I deserve a little more money, with what I contribute here.
Yeah.
And he goes like, he like turns red. His fucking ginger face turns red. And he's like, what are you, a fucking free agent? Is this a contract negotiation? I was like, yeah, it is. It was like, we would laugh sometimes, but working with this guy would give you anxiety. I started to I noticed after working with him for so long, I was starting to be mean to cashiers, like taking it out on random people. Like, what are you looking at? Like, just be fucking, I just turned a mean person with him.
It just rubs off on
Yeah,
him.
I couldn't work with him anymore. But anyway, this guy, he made us do a grilled cheese competition. And like all the guys, first of all, this place, if you work in culinary, especially high-end culinary, there are two types of people that work there, right? You have like seasoned, experienced people that like learned School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
And you have culinary school graduates.
Okay.
Culinary school graduates always suck. They suck. Dude, being a cook has more to do with resilience and like toughness and endurance than it does with your actual cooking skill.
Yeah.
If you can stand on your feet for hours and hours and hours on end and deal with the beeping of the screen and this coming in and just the fucking maelstrom, and understand that you have to exist in this chaos.
Yeah.
It is stressful. They're the 3 top jobs every year that go to therapists for anger management. One is police officers, 2 is firefighters, and 3 is line cooks. That's for real.
That's
for real.
Insane. But I can see why.
Yeah, it's so anyway, we did this this grilled cheese competition.
Yeah.
I had a ton. I mean, the other cooks and sous chefs and everything came in. Like a lot of them, it was like they're off time, right?
Right.
It was in the morning. I was working lunch shift. I had to work, so this whole thing happened during my work.
Yeah.
and I was expected to participate, right? And I was like, I don't have time to like put some fucking great. Some of these guys were like, they're like fucking making dough and like really going hard. Like really going hard. Some of them were like putting all these crazy ingredients and using these artisan breads and everything. You know what I did? I took 2 pieces of Texas toast out of the freezer and I put Cooper Sharp on it and I just grilled it. And I was grilling it while I was doing prep work and doing orders. And I won.
These fucking Texas toast.
I won.
I bet they were fucking pissed.
They were mad. There's this like one girl. She made her own bread. She made like her own flatbread or like focaccia bread or something like that. And then she like made her own mozzarella and like made her own everything and like put together this thing and like prepared it on this plate with this drizzle and like all this like bullshit. And she goes, I made it though, and I lose to Texas fucking toast. Yeah,
Sometimes simple's best.
and you know what? He looks at this. He goes, what did he say? He goes, what is this fucking Iron Chef? He's, I told you to make grilled cheese, not a fucking, I can't remember what he said. Or he goes, I paint the Sistine Chapel or something. And he picks it up and it's like the cheese didn't even like melt the whole way on the inside. He's like, this is fucking cold. He like throws it. You should have seen her face. And like other people like made all of this like bullshit to try to impress the chef. And he's like, he take one bite. He goes, that's a good grilled cheese. He's like, he like holds it up. He's like, the bread's got he's like, the bread is crispy, it's toasted. He's like, it's got butter on it. He's like, and the cheese is melted inside, and it's Cooper American cheese. You can't beat that. I won.
That's fucking priceless.
Yeah. So anyway, that's one of my excursions into.
How the fuck did we get here?
I have no idea.
I don't either.
I don't even know if people like these crazy off the rail tangents.
I think we got here with your uppers.
Oh
You
yeah.
said I like uppers.
I just like telling stories. I'm sorry, folks.
You're,
All right.
you're an orator.
I'm an orator. I'm very oral. I'm an orally kind of guy.
I'm an oral kind of guy too.
I'm an oral kind of guy. Is it better when I say it like that?
Yeah.
Hey, how you doing? I'm an oral kind of guy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm an oral kind of guy.
Hey, how you doing? I'm an oral guy.
Yeah. You gotta like just grunt it out.
They call me normal oral. I don't know what that
Normal oral? It doesn't even rhyme.
They call me moral oral.
I think that was a show.
Was it?
Yeah. They call me Norman Oral. They call me Oral Sorrels.
Look at the majestic oral coral on the Queef Reef. I don't know. We're getting weird. This is getting bad.
The majestic floral oral coral.
Fucking Dr. Seuss over here.
Sousing it up.
Seussing it up.
Let's get soused up.
Let's get Seuss, boy.
Sluiced up.
Yeah. So anyway, we gotta get going, guys. It's getting late, and we're getting weird. All right, folks, we're gonna head out, guys. I appreciate you guys tuning in for all 2.5 hours. Much love, many blessings and hails to each and every one of you bizarre kings and queens out there. Great book about the drop, horror beneath about the drop, all this kind of stuff about the drop. Lots of great books coming your way. Sign up for the Substack if you want to get access to the ebooks, free ebooks, not a dime, for $5. It's completely free except for the $5 a month you gotta pay. But anyway, it pays for itself. Multiple ebooks every month, more than you can read, to fill up your electronic library in addition to the Bizarcast. Or you can sign up for free and just get updates and lots of great articles and everything like that. Buy books over at BIZARCAST.com. You can get all kinds of stuff. Click shop and go over to our shop and see what we have in stock. You can also buy us over on Amazon or your favorite book retailer in your country, whether it be Waterstone, Books A Million, or whatever else. So go check all that stuff out. Love and blessings to all you guys. And follow us on Twitter and Telegram at the BizarreArchives. And I'll see you guys next week. I think we're gonna do a review of the Baby Teeth film.
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I'm super excited to see it.
Ooh, child, you nasty.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, preserve your flesh until next week.
Preserve your meat.